Continuing to track California's first major storm of the fall season for next week, with heavy mountain snows and the potential for flooding rains into Los Angeles and San Diego. And as the storm system pulls out into the plains, the potential for a round of severe weather into parts of Texas and Oklahoma. All of this and more on today's update. Greetings, weather nerds. Welcome back to the channel. I'm meteorologist Greg Majeski, your host for today's update. And I'm telling you, folks, things are really going to get active later this month. And I'm starting off by looking at the European temperature outlook here over the next 10 days. And one thing is clearly you could see here is the fact that all the cold air is kind of banked up here into Canada, way off toward the north. Very unusual with some of the temperatures looking very warm indeed across most of the country. There's a bit of a cool shot that briefly comes into New England here for the early portion of this model run. But what we're going to be watching here is the fact that we've got a system that's diving down to the south and coming into Southern California, bringing some cool air here across the Intermountain region, and it's going to bump into that warmer weather that could potentially severe weather toward the middle of the country toward the end of next week. We're talking around the 19th or so of November. But first, we're going to go ahead and focus on Southern California, ground zero, where the potential for flooding is increasing across Southern California. What you're looking at right now is the loop of the European model showing the precipitation outlook, the total cumulative rain expected across California for the next 10 days. And you can clearly see with the heaviest precipitations expected across areas of Southern California, upwards of 5 inches plus of rain, especially in those mountain areas near Los Angeles and San Diego. Now, the cumulative rain expected further to the north up into the Sierra Nevada has backed off from what we were showing yesterday, and the reason for that is because this is more of an upper level low that's going to dive a little bit further south, so the mountains may not get as much snow as expected. Let's go ahead and take a look at those totals. So taking a look at the European as far as the snow totals are concerned, looks like the snow should be coming in there by next Wednesday. That's when we'll see things begin to start to fall there. So as I step you through this, you can see the snow's picking up throughout the day on your Wednesday, going into Thursday morning and continuing into Thursday before it kind of settles down and kind of moves off toward the east into Nevada and into Utah. So these amounts are definitely less than what we were seeing yesterday, generally seeing maybe upwards of 2 feet of snow instead of the 6 feet that we're showing yesterday, and also showing lower amounts here across portions of Nevada and Utah as well because of the heavier precipitation now shifting off toward the south. Switching gears over to the American GFS model, which is going to take us beyond the 10-day and into the time where I'm anticipating the potential for severe weather to come into parts of the lower plains. Now, this is for next Friday. This is heading toward the 17th when that low pressure will be kind of making its presence felt across Southern California. So you can see that area of low pressure sitting right in here as it's going to continue to move off toward the east. Also with that, you've got a pretty dynamic subtropical jet stream that'll be blowing in here as well. So as I go ahead and step you through this very slowly, going into beyond the weekend of the following Friday and into Sunday, as it gets into this position right about here, heading into Sunday morning, you're going to notice something with the jet energy here. What we're seeing is you've got what's called divergence. You've got the air kind of doing this kind of thing. And when it does that, that allows the atmosphere to spin. So there'll be a tornado threat with this upper level low, as well as a very active subtropical jet stream going into next Sunday on the 19th. Now, of course, this is still a little ways off, and it could change, but we're definitely looking at the possibility of thunderstorms. So going back to the GFS, the precipitation outlook here as we're looking at the low that's going to be currently sitting over Colorado. And I'm going to step you through this again, going to that time frame where we're anticipating that severe weather to break out. You're noticing the swirl there, and there go the thunderstorms breaking out into Sunday morning as we go in toward the 19th. So we're looking at the potential there for some severe weather that'll be lining up right through here. So you're looking right through this area here. You've got the air kind of circulating around that area of low pressure. And again, the timing on this is if it's more during the daytime heating can also help on this. So we've got a long way to watch this. So the timing on this will likely change. We're very confident, I think, of a pretty significant storm across California. But as it progresses across the country, and because it is so far out, these models will change. So continue to check back here for updates, and we'll keep an eye on this to see how this evolves. Not unusual to get severe weather in November, and it's looking more likely as we head further into the month. And hey, please do me a favor. I'm new to the YouTube game as I've been posting on here. Please do me a favor, hit the subscription button, hit the subscribe button, I should say, hit that notification bell. That way you get notified when new content is posted. Thanks again as always, and we'll see you on the next update.